So who wants to do the roll call?
I'll do the roll call.
Okay.
Okay. CAC Chair Mike Carey.
Present, but I'm not on this committee, by the way. I'm
Oh,
just attending as a member of the public.
that's fine. CAC member Elodie Katz.
Here.
Nabila Guzman.
Here.
Director Mike Schaefer.
Yep.
Scott Carroll.
Here.
And Angela Kalunga. Who's taking notes. Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Okay.
Public comment?
I guess I can do. So I don't. Any public comments, Mike? Mike Carey, you're representing the public. Any comments?
Nope, just attending as an observer.
Okay. All right. So we'll move on to the first item on the agenda was the mixed pickup reports. This was a request by the committee to bring this back for discussion. Nabila Guzman will give his report, and before you is a really detailed report. She did a great job preparing this report on the history of our missed collections. I'm going to turn it over to her, and then we'll be available to answer any questions.
Good morning, committee members. The Board of Directors directed staff to have this meeting on the missed pickups. In the staff report, I have included the number of reported missed pickups on a monthly basis for the last 3 fiscal years, as reported by CRNR and according to CMSD records. CRNR provides a monthly complaint report to staff where missed pickups are reported, among other things. CRNR only reports complaints that are escalated to management. All courtesy pickups are not reported, which is why the numbers are so low. The second chart reflects a number of missed pickups per CMSD records. Although it seems like the number of missed pickups has tremendously increased over the last 3 years, it is important to note that prior to 2018, CMSD did not keep a record of service requests that came in. Previously, if a call came in for a large item pickup or a missed pickup, we would just transfer them to CRNR customer service. In 2018, staff started utilizing the GovID system to communicate between CRNR and the resident. Fiscal years 18-19 and 19-20 are a more accurate reflection of pickups requested on a monthly basis. Last fiscal year, CRNR experienced a higher number of truck breakdowns than usual, and large portions of routes were missed. This fiscal year, only 2 truck have been reported, and both have resulted in slight delays of service for residents. The first one was in September 2019, and the organics route broke down. So 2 other trucks assisted, but the route was not completed, but all homes were serviced by 8:30 the next day. And in December 2019, there was multiple truck breakdowns and a truck fire that resulted in a 2-day delay for mixed cart pickups. This concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Scott, I have a quick question for Nabila, if I can.
Yeah.
Nabila, let's just look at 2019 and 2020. Let's just use that one for now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
July had 46. December had 36, and January had 49. Okay? To me, that's indicative of major holidays. July 4th, Christmas, and New Year's. Am I correct in that, or am I just guessing?
No, that is correct. We always have an issue on holidays, just because residents get confused on which holidays are observed and which ones aren't.
Yeah, okay. I that was going to be my next question. I think we do a pretty good job, at least lately, with our social media and the other things on letting people know. There are other sites in the city that people look at regularly, like the city of Costa Mesa, whatever, that we could tie into them to get some clarification to the public so that they know. I'm sure we do that already, right?
I believe we do reach out for them to share our post. I'm not sure if they do all the time, or how often we do are able to get on their website or their social media for them to repost our messaging.
Okay. You know what's interesting to me is look at November. November has probably the biggest holiday because it's usually 2 days, Thanksgiving, but the numbers are so low. It's just those ones where they have a 1-day holiday. And I think the other thing is those other 1-day holidays aren't always on the same day. Thanksgiving is always the same time, whereas the other 1-day holidays could be any day of the week, right?
Correct. So the holiday is one of the common reasons for missed pickups. Residents forget that it's delayed or they set them out late. So if your trash day is Monday, but
Yeah.
it's still because of the holiday, then they'll forget to set it out on time on Tuesday and then call for a missed pickup because the truck came by really early and they had forgotten. And
Exactly.
then domino effect, the whole week it's catching up on the late set outs.
You know, again, these numbers are helpful to me to see those patterns. Do we have any resource that shows us where these mixed pickups are, what neighborhoods?
We can check in Gov Outreach to see what neighborhoods are constantly missed, but there does not seem to be a pattern.
I know I bug Scott a lot because I have one particular person, when they get missed, I get a text message or something from this person, right, Scott? And it's Provia. It'd be curious to see. I guess the phenomena there is if we have a citizen who cares enough to let us know or is angry enough to let us know, then we have a better statistic.
Correct. So sometimes the entire block can be missed, but we might only get one request.
Right.
And then that person says, my whole side of the street or my whole block was missed. Sometimes they don't say it, but the drivers are trained that if there's carts set out, to empty all of them.
Okay. These numbers are really helpful, and I appreciate the work you did. And I'm a little disappointed that CR&R only reports the ones that reach a certain level. I mean, they all should be documented as far as I know. We should know about all of them, whether they're elevated to a management level or not. And maybe that's something we can talk to CR&R about in the future, but it'd be helpful to have them give us better numbers.
Well, I think what you know, I mean, without Gov Outreach, the numbers, would be tainted, right? You would think, oh, there's not that many missed collections if you're just relying on CR&R.
Exactly.
So I think the Gov Outreach is an excellent tool, and that's why we encourage residents to use that tool to log a complaint or concern. In fact, correct me if I'm wrong, to be like, when someone complains about a missed collection in GovReach, doesn't that go directly to CR&R?
Correct. We receive a copy, and then CR&R gets a copy.
Right.
And then
So that expedites it. Rather than goes to us and then then we have to contact CR&R. It goes directly to CR&R. They know it immediately. And we're copied on it, so we know they got it. And so that's a huge advantage to us. And so that's why we encourage people to use that app as much as they can.
Yeah, good.
Ellie, I know you had a lot of questions. Were those all addressed, or do you still need to?
Oh no, I think Abila was going to report on that today.
Yeah, I think I answered all of her questions, but I'm happy to go over them.
Could you do that for the public purposes? Can you go over the questions and how we responded?
Yes, of course. So first question submitted was Gov Outreach numbers. If I'm understanding correctly, that even calls going directly to CR&R are now being reflected in Gov Outreach, or are only the ones that go to CMSD first, and then CMSD works with CR&R to resolve. So Gov Outreach requests are only, the requests reflected on that chart are calls that were received by CMSD first.
Okay.
Then sent to CR&R. So if they call CR&R directly, we still have no way of capturing that.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Question, missed pickups. Do these include both mixed waste and organic cart pickups? If it's combined, I'm surprised that the 2019 September number is so low for both CR&R and Gov Outreach. For the email chain below, there was a whole neighborhood in which CR&R could not finish an organics route for the day. Do you know why there might be this discrepancy? Yes, so the missed pickups are for both the mixed waste and the organics cart. We do receive a lot more calls for mixed waste.
Imagine.
When an entire neighborhood or route is missed, we only count the requests that are called. So like when you called in, we only put that request, even though it was for the entire block. So we would go back through the request and say, was this for just a home, or was it an entire block, an entire neighborhood? So that's first are skewed. We only count the request called in.
Okay.
It's not question number 3, somewhat related to number 2. Can we ask CR&R to report CMSD every time they have a trash truck that isn't able to complete the route, and why that is? I'm concerned that we have a gap in information because right now we only seem to be relying on complaining customers or what CR&R decides to include in the monthly report for things that were escalated to a manager. We don't really have an accurate estimate of every missed pickup. In addition, if CR&R can notify CMSD in a timely manner, perhaps when CMSD gets on Nextdoor, the district could attempt to proactively notify customers as a way to improve on our customer service to ratepayers. So last fiscal year, we experienced many truck breakdowns and failures that prevented CR&R from completing their routes. This had not happened previously on the same scale. So I did meet with CR&R and requested that CMSD be notified when routes will be unable to be completed. This fiscal year, it's only happened twice, and we have been notified on a timely manner. Both times are resulted in slight delays, so we were able to know. So when residents called in, we had an answer as to why they were missed on their pickup day. Placing the notifications on Nextdoor is the goal. Currently, we are not able to get on there. But I agree, it would be super helpful once we know there is a delay to put the post and notify it on there, since more residents seem to be on Nextdoor than following us on our social media outlets.
And that way you could target the specific neighborhood too. Yeah.
Of a mix-up, or residents would not be as angry. Question number 4. Has CR&R addressed reasons for the missed pickups when they provide their monthly numbers? What types of issues will require handling by a manager? So when we get the monthly report, it does say what their complaint was, and it does say the action taken by the customer service representative and then the manager that assisted with it. The issues that get escalated to a manager are typically a customer that is extremely upset, is screaming, wants to speak to a manager, or a resident that says, I've been calling in and nobody seems to be helping me. Then those are the issues that get escalated to a manager. Okay. Also, there are sometimes requests of truck was driving by my neighborhood. There was leaking, either fluid, hydraulic fluid, or oil fluid, or trash juice. Those ones, they seem to want to speak to a manager to see what the actions are going to be to repair the street or clean up.
Okay.
What is trash juice? I hope I'm not drinking that in the morning. I'm sorry. That I couldn't let that one go, Nabila. That was too. And I saw Carrie smiling when you said that. So sorry to interrupt.
No problem. So there's a lot of trash juice in the mixed waste truck, especially after. It's pretty gross. So the second part of your question was the missed pickups. So we do have a list of the common causes of a miss. They are late set-outs. So typically when a resident complains, I'm the only one on this street that was missed. The truck was clearly by. The resident might have not set out their carts on time.
Okay.
The reason is worry calls. So typically they come at 3, it's 3:30, they're not here. I want a courtesy pickup. I want to report this missed pickup. Service times are from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And especially right now with the stay-at-home orders, we are seeing an increased number in trash collected. So now that it's been a few weeks, the route manager has adjusted some of the routes. If this neighborhood we've been noticing has a lot of trash, now they get service first. instead of waiting till the end of the day when maybe you'll run out of time to service them just because there's so much trash, so the truck has to go empty. So the routes have been adjusted, so we get calls of like, they're usually here at 2, it's 3.
Mhm.
And then they still, I mean, we'll still think of outreach because they call and we want to follow up. But, you know, typically when we call the next day, they say, yeah, they were here at 5, they were here at 6. It's not a missed pickup. Other common reasons are the truck driver was on vacation. So in the summer and December, January, when people tend to take vacations, we have relief drivers from other cities that come and assist that are not familiar with the routes. The route that's their area, the regular driver knows, but the relief driver might be like, I don't know. And we might have some missed pickups there. We've had actually a lot of instances where residents refill their carts and then call for a courtesy pickup.
Really?
Yes. Just one yesterday, she made a big deal that her organic carts were not emptied on Friday. We scheduled a courtesy pickup and I followed up with the route manager and they took a picture because her carts were overfilled. They had serviced them and then she made a big deal, so we went and did a courtesy pickup for her yesterday.
Wow.
And now with the stay-at-home orders, residents are refilling their carts, and usually the truck will come by one side of the street, turn around, and then do the other side. The residents are refilling the carts and placing them across the street.
Really?
Don't be so surprised, Elodie. That's the way.
I couldn't be. Wow.
Other common reason is holiday schedule. Again, residents don't know which holidays are observed, which ones are not. So again, that can be a domino effect for the entire week.
Okay, so from CR&R liability perspective, it's mostly mechanical breakdown and then relief drivers missing the route.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, one tool that we really stressed hard during negotiations that would help be very proactive in notifying residents about their delays in trash collection due to truck malfunction is having a GPS system, having access to the GPS system. We pushed really hard to have access to it where we can have the GPS system on our computers and we can watch where the trucks are going. They didn't want anything to do with that. They said there's too much of a liability, which was unfortunate. But that would really help us be proactive and we can notify the residents ahead of time, hey, the truck just broke down this street.
Yeah.
Expect a couple hours delay. Unfortunately, that just didn't come to fruition, but the GPS would definitely help.
I mean, per what Mike was asking earlier in one of my questions, is it possible to get more data from CR&R? I know it's still self-reporting, but at least their estimate of how many actual missed pickups. So we have.
I think we could do that with Mike Baye, right? Right, Nabila, maybe we put that as a note next time when we audit their performance. We can request that information.
Asked for that previously. So when we do their performance evaluation every July, I can ask for additional reports. Courtesy pickups can be one of them. I think I asked for it a couple years back and it was like a 400 number for the fiscal year. So that is something I can request.
Good.
Would courtesy pickups include if their driver missed? If they have a driver who can't complete a route, are they able or is someone able to estimate how many households are affected by that?
The route manager would.
Okay.
So he can tell me if there was a truck breakdown, he'll say it was so many blocks and he'll give me an estimate of how many houses and how long it'll take the next morning to complete.
Because yeah, that one for September, they weren't done by 8:30. I think they got to me by like 11 something, which isn't much longer, but 8:30 isn't completely accurate.
That's good to know.
Let's get another this fiscal year as far as breakdowns.
Yeah, so this fiscal
Yeah.
year we have 2 so far.
Aren't they getting new trucks in the fleet here pretty soon, Nabila?
We did request in December. We met with CRNR because of all the truck breakdowns last fiscal year, and they did promise a new route and new trucks. But they have the trucks, but they didn't have the CNG tanks, or they didn't have the company to install them.
Can we
Because-
follow up on that? That's been a while though. Can we follow up on that?
That was in December, so I will follow up.
Okay, thank you.
That's right, because I think I recall one of the trucks wasn't clear natural gas. Is that right?
Those are relief.
Sorry?
We have really old relief trucks. We have 3, and those ones are diesel, but those ones don't run daily.
Okay.
Run when we need assistance or when the truck breaks down and we need to bring a spare.
They're backup. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so on the trucks, oddly enough, as I drive around the city when I'm not in curfew or lockdown, I do see the trucks going around. They don't always look like the kind of trucks that we expect. I mean, you guys know that. I mean, we have some kind of ratty looking trucks, and quite a few of the trucks don't have our tags on them, Scott. You know, our signs. So just a quick, I think we need to remind them that we'd like our trucks. We take a lot of pride in that. So
Okay.
One other quick question. People who have pickup day as Friday, they don't get picked, if they get missed, they don't get picked up until Monday, correct?
Correct.
Is there any way to talk to CRNR? There couldn't be that many.
I didn't realize it started date.
Couldn't be that hard to send a truck out on Saturday. I don't know if CRNR even works on Saturday, but it would seem like making our customers wait a weekend, you know, especially with the organics carts where you expect them to do their yard work over the weekends. I don't know if that's something we could talk to them about, but even if they had one truck on standby on a Saturday, one truck should be able to handle the mist from Friday.
So I do know that they have Saturday routes for their commercial
Right.
account. But that's definitely something that we can talk to CRNR about.
Okay. That'd be appreciated.
I don't know. They also have small trucks that they use in Newport Beach. They don't have to bring out a big truck.
Whose voice is that?
It's a ghost.
Did you just wake up?
Sort of. I woke up to, I looked at my calendar and realized.
Okay. What is the committee's pleasure? Does the committee want us to share this with the board? Is just want a FYI? What's the committee's pleasure on this item?
I think until we get some of the other questions answered or resolved, this is more of an FYI for us. I think. I don't know if the board, if we need to do a big report for the board on this yet, till we have some of the other issues and some of the other questions resolved.
And just so we're clear what those issues are. So again, from what I just took the notes, you want to make sure our trucks have the signage on them. You want us to check to see if they can have a standby truck on Saturdays. What are the other issues? I must have forgot.
Well, I think both Elodie and I had mentioned getting a more in-depth reports from CRNR on what they see as missed, maybe locations and some of the other things. Just a way to have CRNR give us more information. I understand your Gov outreach, and it's a good system, but CRNR should be a more willing participant, I think, in getting us information.
Okay, I got that. Anything else I'm missing?
Well, how about, let's see, are they up to date on their reports?
I believe they are. Nalani or Nabila, are they up on the reports?
Yes, they are.
And what are they showing? Are they showing with the land, with everything, or everything but the organics going to landfills? You know, what is our recycling percentage?
Right now, currently still zero because the stay-at-home orders. So our waste is still going to the landfill. R&R is supposed to resume operations in July. So hopefully at that point, I have been working with one of the managers to redo our recycling report and what are the best ways to report, if that's monthly, if it's quarterly, if it's every 6 months, just to get more of an accurate report of what is actually being recycled and what is being landfilled.
So Amelia, what is the percentage of recycling for the past couple months?
We had been at a steady 61.
Even though they're taking it to taking most of it to the landfill?
That has dropped a little bit. I have not looked. We only have a month. It was 3,000 tons. So that is not going to put a big dent into our recycling percentage. And we are waiting for CalRecycle to say if these months are going to be voided because of the pandemic, or if it's going to count against us.
We also had in the contract there was a dedicated 20 hours per month or week to help do some organic surveillance. What is CR&R stance on that? And I know their flippant excuse is they got rid of PARs and and they just can't figure out how to fulfill the commitment without rehiring somebody, which they're not doing. We have a contract with them for 20 hours of help.
So they have not filled Par's position. They are doing interviews in June, in the next week or so, to fill his position. That is the person that will be doing the outreach. So until they hire someone, the 20 hours a week will not be completed. But I will remind the committee members that CR&R gave us $19,000 for the outreach contract, the communications contract. And those $19,000 was because we weren't gonna have a outreach person for a couple of months.
So they're giving us pay in lieu of they're paying for that 20 hours with money, not with assistance.
Correct. Until a new sustainability coordinator was hired.
And Mike, do you have any hope of opening your recycling center anytime soon?
We're working on it with the college administration. They're doing a risk assessment for all job types and all departmental types right now. It's I'm hoping for July.
Okay.
That brings up a question, Mike. We've talked over the years about some of the private recycling centers. I still see people going through the alley behind my office, for example, grabbing recyclables.
Yeah.
Where are these people going? Do you have any idea?
A lot of the other centers are open and they're not following many safety protocols. We've kind of visited them, and then coincidentally, the price of cardboard is up right now, so you'll probably see some increased scavenging for that.
Really? Is China taking it again?
China's not taking it, but there's other domestic markets that are. The prices jumped about 20% in the last 60 days.
Wow, that's interesting.
Now, clean cardboard. There are plenty of cardboard collectors out right now. I see at least 3 or 4 of them. They collect pallets and cardboard, and I think it's a beneficial recycling, because if that cardboard went in the truck, it would not be as recyclable as clean cardboard.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, good point, Bob.
Okay.
Scott, I think there was one other thing. Nabila was going to check on the status of the trucks. As far as
Status of the new trucks. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Alex. Thank you. That's good. Okay. I think I've got everything now. If there's nothing else, Nabila, thank you. Good job on the report. We'll move on to item number 2. And this is some direction from the committee for future meetings. What topics are you interested in discussing? We have a few here on the staff report just to kind of get the discussion flowing and thinking about some subjects. If there's, obviously there's other subjects that are on the staff report, please let us know, but you know what you're thinking, what kind of ideas or items, subjects you want to talk about in the future.
On the list, Scott, you mentioned biomass conversion project.
Yes.
Is that incinerator project?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I'm really interested in that one. I would like to have CRNR talk to us about it when all the restrictions end. I'd like maybe this committee to go over and look at that operation some morning. That one, and then the contamination is a big one. I'm really interested to see what kind of numbers we can get on the contamination issue.
Mike, you can read about that conversion technology on the internet somewhat.
I did, yeah, thanks, Bob. I did look at it up. I actually even visited with someone from AQMD who had a little bit of knowledge with it, but I would like CRNR to tell us what their plans are for it, and I'd like to see how it works.
Yeah.
We can invite Mike Sill up to give a nice presentation.
That'd be great.
We also could add, Costa Mesa has a new sustainability new hire. I've met her. I think we should probably interface with her, and maybe have her come and, talk about what she thinks her and or the city's agenda is.
Okay.
I talked to her a couple months ago, and hopefully the city will see fit with their financial problems to retain that position. We also worked on a green guide when Mike was chair of the city's 60th anniversary. And the city, it was basically a city document, and have her talk to us about, have her talk to us about what she thinks her goals and future is with the city.
Okay.
There probably are some shared services opportunities. We're in the green recycling business, and hopefully the city with her help will get there.
Yeah, definitely. Good suggestion. Anything else?
I was just going to ask if it's part of the original goal, I think, was to try to improve our diversion rate. And to Mike's point about the contamination of the mixed waste and organics recycling parts, that's one of the main ways we were talking about it. It'd be nice if we could be involved. I'm sure, obviously, Mike and Bob will be, but with Tripepi, when they start working on strategies for how to change that behavior.
Okay.
Obviously, I know things are different now with coronavirus, the diversion rate,
Yeah.
but for the future,
Yeah.
is the Tripepi thing on hold until things start to wind up again? Until, is there any update on when the kickoff meeting might happen and when that might proceed?
Nabila, can you provide that answer, please?
Yes, of course. So they've been working on their express communication assessment report. They just completed the draft. I received it on Monday. It will go to the board for presentation and approval in July, just because their June meeting is already has a lot of things on it. July, and we will be sharing that with the board. We're hoping to start actual work in August, but I believe in July they can assist us with some of our social media projects, just to make sure that we have all the right tools to get started with the campaigns in August.
And I believe the CAC's next meeting is in July, so we can share it with the CAC meeting in July too, right, Nabila?
Yes, we can.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Well, Elodie, I'd like to congratulate you on You're the vice chairman of the CHD committee.
I am, thank you. Very excited, thank you.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think that adds to the top leadership in that committee.
There was kind of a lack at the top before. I know.
Oh, God.
It
Very happy
definitely
to
provides,
have Chair Carey back.
it definitely provides strong leadership.
Okay. If nothing else, I don't suggest scheduling a date at this point for our next meeting. Let us start working on these topics, and then when we're ready to meet with the committee, we'll reach out to you and find out when everyone's available, and we can meet again if that's okay.
Sounds good.
I just had a general question. Is there any sense of when, if the Zoom meetings are just going to continue indefinitely, or if we might move to in-person again?
Yeah, we're talking about that. We've had some discussion how we can social distance. We could probably, our thinking is that we could still have our in-person meetings being 6 feet apart. We estimate we can't have no more than 10 people in the boardroom. So, but we could still like have our committee meetings probably there, and then still Zoom in for the public. So we won't be open, the meetings won't be open in person for the public. So we're thinking of putting a big TV in the boardroom, and then the public and other staff members can Zoom in that way.
I see.
So we're looking at that. Maybe in the month we could probably have our board meeting, but we're still evaluating.
Okay, thank you.
You know, I'd prefer that we, you know, I think the Zoom format is great. You know, I would have been quite a bit later to this meeting.
That's true. There's some benefits to that.
Would you send me the first report, or, you know, I'm not sure that I got the agenda. So, would you send it to me? Is that an attachment that you were reviewing in the beginning?
Yeah. Yes. It's on the agenda. You can download it on the agenda.
I didn't.
On the website. On the website.
Okay. I could not find the. I couldn't find the link to this or whatever. So I'll check back with you if I can't find it.
Yeah, I'll call you after our meeting, Bob, and I'll show you where it is.
Okay.
Okay. If there's anything else for discussion for the committee?
I just wanted to thank staff for doing such a good job hosting the Zoom meetings. This is my first one. They've been running very smoothly, so thank you so much.
Well, it took us a while to get it all running smoothly. Trust me, there's some bumps in the road, but
I'm sure it's new to everyone, but thank you for doing such a good job with that.
well, thank you. That was nice. Nice comments. Thank you. Okay. Nothing else. I guess we'll adjourn the meeting, and then we'll get back to this committee soon.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you, everyone.
thanks, everybody. Good to see y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.